Tensions flared in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, on Monday morning after the killings as angry youth drove out a herd of cattle reportedly owned by Dixon Takier, a member of the House of Representatives for the Makurdi Guma Federal Constituency. Let's take a look.
This cows belongs to the Honorable Rep. Dixon Taki. Last night he took them to Najumu settlement, and the youth of Najumu today said that these cows cannot live with them. They should be protecting lives other than protecting cows. So the youth of Najumu now chase these cows away. As you can see, the cows are roaming on the road, and then the people taking care of these cows are the Fulanis, up to 6 Fulanis. 6 Fulanis. These are Dixon's cows. Dixon is harboring 6 Fulanis to protect these cows. But the youth of Najumu today said no, these cows cannot live in their community.
And we also saw a viral video showing security operatives allegedly escorting cattle through the city, sparking widespread reactions amid the growing insecurity. Let's take a look.
Sister, look at cows in Makurdi. Sister, look at cows in Makurdi. Benue State government is escorting the Makurdi capital. Sister, look.
Oh my God! Can you imagine this?
Rufai, I'd like your thoughts on both stories. On one hand, we're seeing that, the government is, protecting the Fulani herders. On the other hand, we're seeing young people going after these herders in Makurdi.
You see, it is an indictment on our country that cattle are roaming around our streets when they should be kept in confined spaces. Hoji, go to Argentina, go to big beef producing nations. How many times do you see that we have cattle roam around the streets, that we move them from point A to point B? We have said consistently that those that want to do this beef business must be able to provide infrastructure for them to graze. In fact, this idea of cattle roaming around affects the quality of meats. I can tell you that because I also did a course called Meat Science. There's something called the quality of meats. So when you see all of this happening, and you now see our military forces, or you see security forces, beg your pardon, now saying, oh, we must direct them back to town, angry you chasing cow. In 2025, if we are thinking, should cow be the priority of Nigeria? Other economies are thinking of how to go to the moon, how to go to the space, how to bring their people out of poverty. We are having back and forth over Malu. It shows there's something dysfunctional with our faculties in this country. The cows have become the order of the day and priority. That in 2025, we are even reporting it on national TV, how we are chasing cows back and forth. People have politicized cows. Oji, cows shouldn't cause problems. People that want to do business of cow should be able to keep their cow in a confined space. Pure and simple. And this should not be a matter of states. Because the way we are going, I just pray one day we will not have a constitution for cow in this country. Let us make peace reign. Whatever the crises are between the herders and the farmers should be sorted out, and people should not be allowed to pass their boundary. I'm just surprised about seeing what is happening in this country.
I know.
Cow.
Yes.
This conversation today.
You're absolutely spot on, Rufai.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Agbetuku, on Monday visited Yelewata community in Guma local government area and pledged to bring perpetrators of killings in the state to justice and also restore lasting peace in the north-central state. Mayowa Okwato has the details.
They fired for almost 5 hours. They met a stiff resistance here from the police.
They have killed 3 persons in a house. That was the starting of the massacre. Yes. So as that happens, then we were afraid, and that was at my own personal area. Yeah, my family members affected, there are 5.
These are recounts of the attack that happened on Friday night in Yelwata community of Guma local government area of Benue State. Days after, this is what's left of the killing and destruction of lives and property, one which has drawn the presence of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun. This visit aims to strengthen security presence and coordination in the area, while Security Chief assures victims and survivors of the federal government's commitment to restore peace and justice.
We're here to ensure that we address such. From now, I'll be going to see my commanders, and we have to change our strategy. We want to look inward and see how we can address it. But like we mentioned, we cannot do it alone without the community, without the state. We need everybody to be part of it. And so I've discussed with the communities, the traditional rulers, with the clergy, for us to work united.
It is not just an attack on the people of Benue State. It's an attack on the entire nation. And we are not going to accept it. The people of this community are not alone. We are with them. The entire Nigerian communities are with them. When these bandits will come to operate as they used to, and they will never return.
The state governor I sent earlier says that their visit restores the confidence in the people, as hope of ending the killings is high.
The presence of the Chief of Staff, Chief of Defense Staff, and the IGP mean quite much to me, and definitely the people as well.
It's expected that drastic measures are taken and action to guide against reoccurrence of such killings and destruction is put in place. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makodi.
And for more on this development, the technical advisor to the Benue State Governor on Media, Publicity and Strategic Communications, Solomon Iopef, joins me on the news this hour. It's good to have you join us. There's been a lot of back and forth on the actual figure or number of persons who lost their lives in this incident. So can you start with, confirming the figure of those who lost their lives and those injured in this incident?
Well, first of all, I must give my sympathies to everyone who is involved in this, the families that have lost loved ones, the Benue State government, and everyone else has been in mourning. It's been a terrible time for us. And I sincerely hope that God consoles us from these issues that have happened. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Imamelia, was in your studios as of last night, and he confirmed the figures made available to us by the security operators. As of yesterday and the head count, we had about 127 that had been buried. 2 that were in the morgue, 18 that are yet to be buried, 4 were discovered in the bush, bringing the total number to 151.
So Very Dark Man got to Benue before the President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It took him 3 days to respond or to say something about 200 people that was unalive in Benue. Anyway, let me give you the details or what has happened so far in Benue State. Let me explain. So if you're in Nigeria, what is happening in Benue State should not be a news to you anymore. In fact, it is not new. This is not the first time, second or third time that people will be unalived in their house. People will be burnt in their house. It is no longer news. But the one that happened recently is the height of it all. More than 200 people were set ablaze in their house, unalive. Children or pregnant women or adults. In fact, it is so disheartening to look at. Those images I cannot put out here. The most heartbreaking of it all is that the President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is ignoring it. It took him up to 3 days for him to respond or to say something about it. Guess what? People like Very Dark Man has gone there able to show the horrific image of what happened in Benue State, to even sympathize with them. Remember, this issue is happening just less than 24 hours that some Benue people came out to rally around or, to campaign for Tinubu's 2027 election. Less than 24 hours they did that. The henchmen or the bad guys came and unalive more than 200 people. In fact, the Nigerian legacy media, the Nigerian traditional medias are not doing justice to this, because because they are underreporting, or they are not even reporting it the way it's happening there, because some of them are sugarcoating what is happening in Benue State. In fact, some of them are reducing the figure from 200 to 50 something, according to some of the TV stations, as you can see. In fact, you need to hear from the people of Benue what is really going on.
Right now, we are standing on the of our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters. We have become IDPs in our own very country. These killings have persisted for years. A lot of talks have gone on. Only last year, 500,182 people were displaced. We have 21 IDP camps in Benue. These killings won't stop. Up until this moment, nothing is being done. Why? What is more crazy is the deafening silence from our leaders, the duty bearers, the people who are supposed to speak, the people who are supposed to do something. They are silent. Now we want answers. We want to know what is going on. The government has a duty to protect life and properties. If President Tinubu is overwhelmed by this insecurity in North Central, in Benue, in Plateau, in Taraba, he should step aside. He should resign.
Now, the most annoying part of this whole thing is that those people came out to protest against this unaliving happening in their state. Guess what? Police shot their gas at them, telling them, why will you protest? Go back to your house, let them unalive you. In fact, they need to unalive you more. That is what they mean by tear gassing people who are protesting that you should protect them. The people you are supposed to protect, you are tear gassing them. In fact, that was not all. It was seen in the night that the government or the state government was using escorts to escort cow. They were using police escorts and SUV to escort cow in midnight. Anyway, listen to this.
Nonsense.
Sister, look at cows in Makodi. Benue State government is escorting the Makodi capital. Sister, look.
Oh my God. Can you imagine this?
Oh, should I also remind you that before the president reacted to what was happening in Benue, he first of all condemned what is happening between Israel and Iran. I don't understand. Your house is burning. You are chasing rats in another person's house. As if that was not enough, he also condemned what is happening in India. The plane crash that happened in India, he condemned that one. But your house is also burning. Something is happening in Benue. The president did not say that. And this is the same president that made his tweet in 2014 condemning Goodluck Jonathan, telling Jonathan that time that matter of security is the responsibility of the president. You saw the tweet here. I make no blessing. I mean, they talk. You see him. People like Atiku Abubakar, former vice president of Nigeria under Obasanjo regime, and also former presidential candidate of the PDP, also condemned what is happening in Benue State and also gave example what they did when they were in power during the time of Obasanjo. Listen to him.
You remember when the Boko Haram started? It was actually in 2002. We were in office. The president sent for me. What do we do about it? It started in your behalf. And I said, Mr. President, let's call the service chiefs and give them a deadline. If they can't put it down, then they should put down their uniforms and go out.
Nigerian music legend Two-Face Idibia also have this to say. In fact, his heart bleeds so much that he spoke from the saddest part of his heart. Listen to him.
My heart is heavy, terribly sad, terribly angry. But like it's become a national emergency. What's going on in my state, Benue State?
It will interest you to know that Benue people are now fleeing their community, traveling to other states just to have safety. Imagine leaving your ancestral land to another place because the government you voted or that find their way into power failed to protect you. Oh, your state governor also failed to protect you. I mean, your governor that is a reverend father, that was a reverend father, has failed in his duty to protect you people. What a sad reality. So dear Nigerian, this is just a brief summary of what is happening in Benue State. If I missed anything, please tell me in the comment section. At this point, I will indulge you to pray for those who lost their family members in Benue State and also sympathize with them. If you have anything that you can use to help them or whichever way, please do, as the government of the day has failed us. 2027 is around the corner. It is time for Nigerians to deliver Nigeria from the hands of this government of the day. But remember, the next election is between Nigerians and the ruling party. You know what it means. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. But before you do, please, it is a sad one. I don't know what to say.
But like it's become a national emergency. What's going on in my state, Benue State? I cannot wrap my head around. Man, I don't even know what to say at this point in time because it's going to be business as usual. I will condemn the thing. This has to stop. This thing has to stop. It has to involve everybody, every stakeholder in this country, every stakeholder in Benue State. You know, it's not child's play. It's becoming ridiculous. It's annoying. Haba, come on, man. I don't even know where to start expressing my sadness, my grief, my anger, my frustration.
I think that the story of Benue is very much known abroad, much more than we tend to think about it here, because the story, whether of Boko Haram or whether of herders and the situation in the Middle Belt, is actually one that the media in Europe is very concerned about.
Well,
so,
what I'm asking is, what do you say to them is behind it? Is it competition for land? Is it fueled by religious and ethnic divisions? Is it something else?
This is a very good question you're asking, because I think that what actually has happened is that nobody is telling the truth about the problem in Benue and the Middle Belt. And we are wanting to be politically correct by saying, and I saw that in a major statement today, by saying that there is no religion involved in this crisis. Well, a statement today from the office of the SGF, for example, who said it's not about
Secretary to the government.
Yeah, Secretary to the government, who said there is no religion involved in this. There's no ethnicity. It's an economic situation.
And you believe that there is religion and ethnicity?
Of course, I do believe.
Well, tell us why.
Because this is not the first time. The people of Benue know that they have had an issue of jihadism in the past 100 years, that ended up in Benue. The people who took the jihad, who will never want to end, want to continue that jihad. The last jihad ended up in Benue. I used to joke with my Igbo friends and brothers and said, Christianity is actually stabilized in Igbo land because we stopped the jihad in Benue. And so they want to continue that jihad, and the Benue is the center for them of that jihad. They believe that once they're able to overrun Benue, then they can reach the ocean, as they had always thought. And this is the narrative that nobody wants to talk about. We want to be politically correct, and therefore we are saying, oh well, there's nothing religious about this, or there's actually nothing ethnic about this. You're talking about a people who are going into Benue to massacre people from week to week. And when the matter comes up, they say, oh well, please try and find reconciliation with the people. When did the Fulanis, who are doing the massacre in Benue, become members of Benue? The state was created in the 70s. The languages that are used on the radio are Tiv, Idoma, Igede, and Etulo. Where is the Fulani community in Benue? And now you are saying reconcile with the people who are there. How do you reconcile with the people whom you do not know? These guys come in the night, they come by river, they come by canoe, they get out of the canoe, they get out and go out and kill people, get back into the canoes and run back. They don't belong to Benue. They hope that continually, by decimating the people who are in the north of the Benue, they will be able to occupy that land, drive them out as they are, kill the people, they destroy the churches, they burn the homes, they take over, they take the people's food and offer to cows, and gradually they are inching into Benue. This is the situation, and that's a story which I like to tell anybody. And it's an unfortunate situation, because I think that the government is taking this matter not as seriously as it should. The same situation we have in Plateau, the same situation we have in Benue. Overrun Plateau, overrun Benue, and then move on. This is a story that must be told, and that story must be told openly, and we don't need to be politically correct. We want to be able to solve a problem. You must get to the root cause of the problem.
Indeed.
Kayak begini, nanti
If President Tinubu is truly our president and Nigeria lives matter, let him travel to Benue today to go and see what is going on. Let him travel. If he's truly our president, let him travel to Benue today. In fact, some of his governors and his ministers should follow him to Benue to show solidarity that yes, you are truly our father. Go to Benue today, sir, Mr. President.
The voices of Nigerians are rising louder by the day, demanding justice, protection, and responsible leadership as killings and violent attacks continue to plague Benue State and other regions of the country. Citizens, especially the youth and marginalized populations, are no longer willing to suffer in silence. The call out to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the government at large is a direct response to the growing insecurity that has claimed thousands of lives and displaced countless families. These are not isolated incidents. They are recurring tragedies that reflect a larger, systemic failure in Nigeria's security, architecture and governance framework. Benue State, often referred to as the food basket of the nation, has become a symbol of national grief. The violence, largely perpetrated by armed herdsmen, militia groups, and criminal elements, has turned farmlands into battlegrounds and communities into refugee camps. Meanwhile, many believe that government responses have been sluggish, reactive, and lacking in transparency. The Nigerian people are not asking for miracles. They are asking for the bare minimum: effective protection of lives and property, prompt and transparent responses to violent attacks, permanent solutions through legislation, security reform, and justice. This isn't about politics or tribalism. This is about humanity. When the cries of children in conflict zones go unheard, when parents bury their loved ones repeatedly without justice, and when promises from leaders go unfulfilled, frustration will naturally give way to activism, protest, and national resistance. The youth are especially vocal not because they are rebellious, but because they are inheriting a country on fire. They want a nation where they can dream without fear, farm without danger, and live without mourning daily headlines of violence. The message to the government is clear: security is not a privilege, it is a right. Governance is not about slogans, it is about service. And until every Nigerian, regardless of tribe, religion, or region, feels safe and seen, the call for good governance will only grow stronger.